Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to do some gardening in February. Hi, my name's Corinne, and here at Spirea I share videos that weave together plant wisdom, holistic health, self-sufficiency with just a dash of magic. If this sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to stick around. So my family has this little polycarbonate 8x8 greenhouse, and in the summer months we grow our sweet peppers in here. They do really well because we border on a zone 4. Sometimes we don't have a long enough growing season to actually grow peppers, but because it's just kind of sitting here and spring is coming, we're going to share with you a little experiment we're going to try. So we have done some winter sowing before, and we often do what's called sowing in place, where we use like old vinegar jugs and stuff like that. We've used these for a few years, as you can tell, as little mini greenhouses. We just cut the bottoms off, we plant the seeds in the soil, and we stick those on top. But we thought if we can do this outside, maybe we can get some things started even earlier by doing a greenhouse within a greenhouse, adding that extra layer of warmth and insulation. So we're going to be planting cold hardy crops today. Things like cabbages, kohlrabi, we've got some winter density lettuce, some winter borer kale, and some spinaches that are designed for cold temperatures. So our thought is that one, we can actually use this to start the seedlings that do well in cold temperatures, and then we can transplant them, or for the shorter growing season ones, we can actually harvest right out of here before we fill this up with peppers in the summer. So essentially what we did is we built some garden boxes within the greenhouse. And like I said, this is where we had our peppers, and they did really well last year. So the first thing we did is we thawed some snow. We filled a couple buckets and we put them by the wood stove. So that way we would have water, and we just kind of prepped the soil. We're probably going to give it another good drink now before we actually plant our seeds. So the whole hope is that we're going to plant the seeds in the soil and then stick the little greenhouses right on top. And that'll provide kind of an extra layer of insulation for the seeds. And then as it gets warmer and those temperatures at night aren't so cold, we can just take these right off and then use them in the garden outside. So I'm going to get to watering this up and giving it a really good soak. And our plan too is to keep melting snow, so that way we have water to water our seedlings. We've already started our onion seeds in the house, and I'm not sure which video I'm going to post first, but I'll link it up here whenever it does get available, how we started our onion seeds, and then we'll have lots of water for watering the seedlings inside as well as in the greenhouse. Are you ready to take your herbal learning to the next level? To dive into the world of plant-based wisdom and to walk the path of a plant worker? If you are, I invite you to check out Weavers of Plant Wisdom, which is my new monthly membership platform where we explore all topics plants. I hope to see you there. So I've got some Wawa Say cabbage here, and I'm going to plant these. So the concept with winter sowing like this is that if the soil is too cold, the seeds won't germinate. They'll just stay dormant. And then once it gets warm enough, they'll start to germinate and actually be hardier for it. And we're hoping just to get a bit of a kickstart on this by doing this in the greenhouse. So I'm just going to start by planting my seeds. And I want to make sure that I have enough space so that my jugs will still cover the seeds well. There we go. So I'm just going to do 4 of these these are kind of like a little skinnier cabbage, really good for stir fries and that sort of thing. So I've just planted them, and then I'll take one of my jugs and I'll put it, actually not that one, it's not the right size. I'll put it right over top just like that. And that's going to keep the seeds nice and insulated and hopefully give it a bit of a kickstart for the growing season. So we got all of our planting done. We actually ran out of jugs. So that's the situation. So when you're collecting your jugs for this, make sure, guys, that they're food safe. They had things like vinegar and that kind of thing in them. Like these ones had Epsom salts in them. You don't want to use anything that had like windshield wiper fluid or anything like that. not a good idea. So we planted some ball head cabbage with the hope that we will actually transplant them from here into the garden once the soil's workable out there. But I planted spinach, 2 types of lettuce, some smaller varieties of cabbage, kale and kohlrabi that I'm hoping will actually just grow in here and that we'll be able to eat before we need this space for planting our peppers. We do harden off our seedlings in here as well, hoping that we'll actually build some little tables and that kind of thing. So this is an experiment. So if you do decide you want to try something like this, know that we haven't done it before. We're just really hopeful that what it's going to do is save some space for us inside the house. We don't have a large home and we want to be able to, not have our entire house taken up with seedlings come May. So stay tuned. What I'll do is when things start sprouting, because I'm being cautiously optimistic about this project, when things start sprouting, I'll give an update in the greenhouse. So our current plan is to continue bringing in buckets of snow so we can thaw that by the wood stove. Although we are supposed to get a big dump of rain tomorrow. So we actually have some Rubbermaid totes and jugs set up around the property to collect some of that rain. Because our well water is too salty to use to water our plants. So that's our current plan. We're going to keep thawing snow. We'll keep these nice and watered, and I will keep you posted when these guys start to sprout. So if you have any questions or comments, of course, you can always leave those below. If you have experience doing some gardening in February in zones 5 or 4, please leave your experiences below. I want to hear all about how you extend your gardening season or get it started early. Until then, this is Corinne from Spirea Herbs, wishing you health and wellness.